Hey everybody, how's it going? Found myself with a neat problem. Probably the hardest problem on an engine to do, and everybody hates to do it. Frost plugs. The hardest one probably I've heard about, did any research on, and didn't want to do myself was the frost plug located right behind the motor mount. Now, if you're looking at this video, that means you've probably gone through every other video on YouTube about how is the easiest way to remove frost plugs from your engine block. Every video that I watched, and every mechanic I talked to, and every logical solution would tell you to remove the engine. Maybe you're in the same predicament as we are. I mean, we're working on a 1968 GMC pickup truck. It's got a 1983, somewhere between 1983 and 1985, 3-speed 350 small block, 4-barrel carburetor. Done a little work on it over the last few years, putting out about 357 horsepower, a little more than the block can handle. Yeah, it's all original and everything. This has been in the family for a long time. Came with a huge problem. Went to go and put some liquid in it this summer, and had it running. It just ran right out. First idea was that maybe there was something while in towing the vehicle had split somewhere on the bottom of the block. Maybe in the wintertime the block had cracked, and that's where it was running out of. So I was kind of thinking, well, we might be done for a motor. No, it was our good old friend, the frost plug, located right behind the motor mount. Everybody loves them. So anyhow, when I looked at all the videos, everybody started out with, well, I tried to do it in my garage, we took it out. Basically, it just became more and more work. There was more and more things involved, more steps. Eventually, they had to remove the motor. It's all nice if you have a garage. If you got an engine hoist, you're working somewhere that's heated, you're indoors, and you've got 12 friends that are going to help you do this, because it is not a fun job. But we had discovered that it's science that's going to get you out of it, and it's science that's going to get you back into it. Basically, what I did was, let me try and show you here. I took the motor mount off just below. I took the motor mount off here, and that goes onto the block. We removed that, and like I say, it's science that's going to get it out. The old frost plug had failed. There was a small pinhole in it, and just took a blowtorch, like an acetylene torch. I applied it to the block. Heated that up just into the point where I could puncture a hole through with a pin bar. Just use this handy dandy pin bar over here. One of those, nice and simple. I didn't need anything huge. Punctured a hole into it. I did have to grind off a lot of the bottom and the top so that it would fit underneath the manifold to get into the frost plug. But basically, yeah, got it in there, pried it out, applied the acetylene torch. Now it's going to go out a couple of times, so you are going to have to keep lighting it and stuff like that so it doesn't keep going out on you. And then just got my pin bar in there with the rocker head, pried it out. Now the application for getting it back in was the same. Just in reverse, basically. Not the same pin bar, but I just heated up the engine block again with the acetylene torch. Tapped in, well, basically slid in as far as I could the old frost plug, and then it was just a little bit of leverage. Took a half of a 2x4, laid it down on the mount, put a pipe in there actually that I had a big steel pipe laying around, and actually just put it in over top of the frost plug, tapped on the end, and hammered it in. And this is all without having to remove the motor. All I simply, not even simply really, all I did was this nice, really fun jack system that everybody would want to work with. Took my 2-ton jack, and I took a nice 2x6, 2x8, stuck that underneath there, and right, I don't know if you can see that, it's to the flywheel on the main crank coming out of the engine block. And you have to jack that up so it hits that center and lifts your engine square without too much twist and torque on anything else. Your other brackets, your other mounts, stuff like that. So once we got all that jacked up, that simply just disconnected the motor mount, jacked up the engine, pried underneath the oil pan with two more 2x8s just to hold the motor so that while we're working there it doesn't fall and crush on your hands. And yeah, I just figured I'd make this video. It might help somebody out who's in the same situation. You know, you're a backyard mechanic, you're working on it in your driveway, and you come across this problem, and a lot of guys I know write motors off just simply because it's a frost plug and it's the one that's behind the motor mount, and it sucks. GM, Chevy, Ford, even probably Dodge, but I know GM and Chevy for sure are notorious for this. They just make it so that your vehicle does, like, you don't have to, you're not able to fix it. You have to take it to a mechanic. So hopefully this video helps out. Like I say, yeah, puncture a hole into the frost plug. One of those little pry bars, you can get it at a Canadian Tire, PV Mart, Princess Auto, any of those places. It comes in a 5-pack pry bar set. I think the whole 5-pack, it's really cheap. It's like 25 or 30 bucks. And it's definitely worth it if you come across this problem. Alright, well, I hope this helps. And maybe if you're around us, you'll see us rat racing on the road. Have a good one.